Hi, and welcome to the first video in a series that I'm going to put together on grooming your lappy, looking after the coat of your Finnish Lapphund. These videos are by no means aimed at people who show and are preparing a coat for the show ring. They are purely for people who have Finnish Lapphunds as pets and are looking to keep their coat knot free and just in good condition. Looking at ways that you can easily do that. Today's video is purely on equipment that you will need and also some that you might choose to get. And I'll go through each item that I have here. In some cases there are some options. But obviously in later videos we'll go through actually how you will use these items. The first thing that you're going to need, and if there is nothing else that you purchase when you first bring a Finnish Lapphund puppy home, it is one of these, a slicker brush. And I actually have 3 here. Okay. You only need to own 1. These are just 3 different price points. The first one is the Lawrence brand. That's Lawrence, and it retails for around $20 Australian. Puppy Fuzz, as it is, one of these is brilliant just for keeping their coat nice. So as I said, this one about $20 Australian. This one is Christensen brand. It retails for about $50 Australian. Main difference between this one and this one is size. Okay, this one's obviously going to cover a larger area than this one. And then the final one that I own is this brand, which is Plush Puppy. Plush Puppy is an Australian brand. This is the one that I actually use for show preparation. Okay, this one retails for about $70 Australian. It is very nice to use. Like I won't lie to you. The difference in using this one versus this one is significant, but this one will certainly do the job. This one just has the padding is a bit gentler, and the teeth are a little bit nicer, and it's got an ergonomic handle. Okay, so you can see the shape of that handle versus this is just a little straight handle. Okay, but ultimately, as I said, for your pet, for your puppy, this one will certainly do the job at $20. Later on, and particularly around 6 months of age, their coat will start to change considerably. They will start to move from the fluffy, soft puppy coat to more like, it's not completely, their first change won't completely take them to their adult coat, but it is more like their adult coat. It's that first drop of coat that you'll need to start getting out. Later on, when they start to do their twice yearly coat drop, and lappies do shed, you will definitely need a comb. All right. So yes, you could certainly hold off. You don't need to have one of these immediately when you bring your puppies home. I actually don't like to use them on the puppy coat. They catch and drag a bit too much, so it's not a pleasant experience for puppies. You won't need it before 6 months, but certainly by the time they are 12 months and going into adulthood, you will need one of these. This is Christensen brand. It's called the Butter Comb with all fine, what they refer to as the all fine teeth. I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see. So it looks like that. Okay. Now, the other little thing that if you are here talking about what you must have and what you could have, Now you could have one of these. This is a handle for that. So you can hold it like that, just a bit more ergonomic, a bit more gentle on the wrist. Okay. Must have, could have. Now the other thing that I'll add to the could haves is this comb. It's called a detangling comb, and I think you can actually see that it says detangler on it. This retails for about $15. It's really cheap. Sorry, I should add this retails for about $50, and then the handle retails for about $30. So all up for that combo, you're looking at about $80, no more than that. Yeah, about $80 for that. It will last the lifetime of your dog though, okay, that I can guarantee. This retails for about $15. Now what makes it so good and why it's a could have is that the teeth actually rotate. Okay. So if you aren't necessarily doing a strip out line comb, but just want to get a comb in there, this is great because it doesn't drag on the hair at all. Right, so it's a good little could have purchase. All right. The next thing to get onto are brushes. You won't use a brush before about 6 months of age. Maybe a little bit sooner if you've already got one, but again, it's not something you need to rush out and get immediately. But you will at some point need, and this, a good pin brush. The pin brush is what you will use a lot of the time once that adult coat is kicked in, just for that half-hour weekly brush through. Okay. This will be your best friend when they're dropping coat, when they're shedding coat, and you need to get that undercoat out before it felts and mats down at the skin. But this is what you will use weekly, thereabouts, just to give your dog a nice freshen up, okay, and brush through. Okay. Again, a couple of options. This is Christensen brand, retails for about $50. I wouldn't go any cheaper than this brush, okay? I would avoid your general pet shop pin brushes, okay? Certainly those ones with the little bobbly bits on the end, avoid those. All you're going to do is have those bobbly bits or those pins come off in your dog's coat, okay? Christensen, this is their base model in the natural timber, about $50. And as I said, this is really the cheapest you should go. If you are looking to spend a bit more, this is also Christensen. It has their brass pins, so the pins are just that little bit better quality. The padding's a bit tougher, okay? The brush is just a slightly better quality. So you can see the difference in the colour of the pins. This retails for about $70, okay? So this is about $50, this is about $70. Well worth the extra money if you feel like spending it. I don't own any but Plush Puppy, and I should mention Plush Puppy also do this is their top, Plush Puppy's top slicker. They do one as well. I think it might even be cheaper than the Christensen base one. All right, so there's another brand there. So Christensen and Plush Puppy are the two brands that I use for all of my grooming products. And both of them have good products for everything. I sometimes choose one over the other for specific things, but really you can't go wrong with either of those two brands' products for everything that we're looking at here. The other brush I own, but again, it's a could own. This is has natural boar bristle in it, those black bits, and a nylon soft bristle as well, which is just really good for a general brush over and fluff up. Okay, but the pin brush is your priority. That's it in terms of actual brushing things. So as long as you own a slicker, a comb, and a pin brush, you will be fine for grooming. The other thing that I recommend is using a brushing spray, particularly when you're just doing those maintenance brushes with your pin brush. It will stop it from dragging on the coat, stop you from hurting the dog, pulling out coat that's not ready to come out, things like that. It will just give you a bit of extra glide. It will also make your dog smell a little fresher too, as well. Okay. There are a couple of options. There's a myriad of options on the market, but again, I recommend either the Plush Puppy or the Christensen. Both of these, so the Christensen is called Just Divine brushing spray. The Plush Puppy is called OMG. Let's bring that closer for you. Both of me. Okay. These are both concentrates. Okay. You then mix them, put them in a spray bottle and dilute them with water. So either of these will last you for quite a while, right? For a very long time, actually. Right? So they'll look a bit expensive when you look them up to buy them, but as I said, they will last you a long time. So Just Divine spray or Plush Puppy OMG. The final thing that you will need is something to do your Lappy's nails with. It's really important that their nails are done regularly, preferably every couple of weeks. Again, a couple of options with a couple of different price points. First option and cheapest option is a guillotine style or just a clipper, an old style clipper. There's a few different ones. If you go into a pet shop, there'll be lots of different ones that you can look at that all do the same job, but it's a manual clipping off of the nail. So that's one option. Your other option, and again, there are lots of different ones on the market, so you can decide which one you want to use if you want to go this way, is the actual sanding down option. This is what I do. Okay, so this is a Dremel. Some of you might already own one of these in your tool collection, just with the sanding option on the end there. Just place it gently on the nail, turn it on and wear the nail down. There are pros and cons to both of these. Now, obviously, one of the cons of this is that it's going to be more expensive, okay? But I personally don't like this style, only because you need to be really careful that you don't cut too far up and make the nail bleed. You know? And it obviously distresses the dog too if the vein that's down into the nail gets cut. So you need to be really careful with these. Having said that, these can get hot on the nail, so don't hold it on for too long at a time. Right? There is on the market, and I haven't purchased it yet, and it's certainly on my need to buy list, is a diamond bit that goes on. It's around $250, $300, which is why I haven't bought it yet. But it goes on instead of the sandpaper, and it doesn't heat up. And I'm told that once you have one and once the dogs experience it, you'll never use anything else. But I prefer to use the Dremel. I just need to get the diamond bit to make it a bit more pleasant. The dogs initially, they do get used to it, but one of the things about this, it isn't the sensation, it's the noise that it makes. Some of them find that quite confronting, but they do get used to it. Use a lot of positive reinforcement, a lot of treats around that. That's it for our first video. Thank you very much.